All it takes is as often as you see yourself in the mirror during a day, look at yourselves in the mirror and say to you, I love you. It's that simple. Now, some of you love to preen yourselves in the mirror for hours on end. But the love you're expressing is not really love. It's more or less judgment and fear. But for the average individual, the average point of view, who is so busy with your lives, you barely have time to stand in front of the mirror in the morning and look at yourselves to get dressed, comb your hair, brush your teeth, put on your makeup for females, and a few males for that matter too. Chuckle, chuckle. The key is you barely have time to acknowledge yourselves. Take a moment. Look in the mirror, look into your eyes, acknowledge yourself in the mirror, and say to yourselves, I love you. Look at yourselves and see what is there. See the compassion within yourselves. See the joy within yourselves. See the kindness, the gentleness, the openness, the vulnerability inside of you. See it. Look for it. And when you look in the mirror, you'll see all of that. It's that simple. Now, in the past, we've given an exercise for people who really wanted to expand themselves. We called it the mirror exercise, and we'll give it to you again. Why are we giving it to you again? Because, dear friends, not many of you are doing it, or practicing it for that matter. This is not something that you have to do every day. You could, and the more you did it, the more often your existence would expand, the more you would see of yourselves, the more you would come to realize your true reality. But we're giving it to you at this stage, at this point, just as a little exercise to do, that in effect you could look at yourselves and say, that's who I am. Now we're going to alter this exercise from what we've given before. It's not the same exercise we've given before, though it could be based on the same principles. But the key here is to move away from fear, move away from giving fear power, to accepting yourselves, to realizing how brilliant you really are, how loving you really are. So here's the exercise. This won't take long, we assure you. But for a period of 10 minutes on a daily basis. 10 minutes, that's all it takes. You are to stand in front of a mirror. Now, you don't have to be naked. In the past, we've given the naked version. This is the non-naked version. How's that? For those of you who have issues with your nudity. Stand in front of a mirror and take a look in that mirror. Look into your eyes. Look into the eyes, nowhere else. Not your face, not your nose, not your hair. Quit looking at whether or not your hair is out of place, your makeup is in the right spot. You didn't do that right properly. Quit looking at whether you have a zit or not. Look into your eyes. Take 10 minutes, look deep within your eyes. And within that deepness in your eyes, look to see whether that person in the mirror has any compassion, any kindness, any gentleness. Look for that. And as you do this, tell that person how kind they are, how gentle they are, how loving they are. In other words, communicate what you observe in those eyes. Tell that person what you see. You don't have to get into a great deal of detail. You can simply say, I see compassion. I see a great kindness. I see love. I see a gentleness here. Tell that person what you see. And if you see fear, say that as well. I see fear, but don't dwell on it. In other words, don't let that be the only thing you see in those 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes of telling that person in the mirror what you see in their eyes. And then when you're finished, end with these words. You are brilliant. You are amazing. You are the creator of your own existence. All that you are, you command. All that you are is love. That's it. And if you choose, give yourselves a hug afterwards. A nice, big, warm hug. It's that simple. 10 minutes every day. 365 days a year, every year for the rest of your life. Now, you could do it less, you could do it more often than that, but do it at least that. 10 minutes. 10 minutes of your precious time to acknowledge your reality to yourselves. 10 minutes to say to yourselves how much you appreciate who you are in the mirror. 10 minutes to look deep inside, go deep, deep inside the soul to see what is there versus what your mind tells you is there. And we assure you, it will not take long before you start being that person in your daily choices, in your daily lives. You're still going to be 50-50, 50% love, 50% fear for a while. But eventually it'll start seeing a change. It'll be 51, 52, 55, 59, 63, 65, 67, 70%, 75, 80, 85, 90%, 95, 98, 98 and a half, 98 and 3/4, 98 and 7/8. That's because you're getting close to the 100 and you're slowing down. And then the fear really gets in. You see? Mm-hmm. That's why now it's going into very, very small increments. But you'll get to 99. And then you'll start seeing that you are truly, deep within you, love. And in that love, fear is allowed, but it is just not given power. You see? Mm-hmm. It's not that you'll be without fear. Far, far from it. After all, fear is part of your existence. It's part of your experience. But it won't be given so much power, will it? You won't be spending so much time thinking about the fear, worrying about the fear, trying to react to the fear, choosing against the fear. Do you see? Mm-hmm. And eventually what will happen is, even though you don't believe it's possible, you will see yourself as 100% love, in which fear is encompassed, is included, but that you yourselves are true, brilliant love. 10 minutes a day, 365 days a year. And in the leap year, don't forget to count one more day.